There we go. Alright, hopefully this one works a little better. Alright, hopefully this stream is good to go. We've kind of been playing around with some stuff. I'm really trying to see what's going to work here. So, hopefully this works. Now we're getting locked back in. UNC up 4. But Sparty has really fought back in the second half. It was a 9-point halftime lead. So it's good to see Sparty fighting back. Good stop by UNC here. Let's see if they can go ahead and extend the lead. Nope. Going right back to Sparty. Alright, so once again, if you're just tuning in here, gonna be basically switching from game to game depending on which one has the least amount of time left and is not a blowout, since we've run into a bunch of blowouts. Thankfully, it looks like UNC North Carolina is going to be a good one. Was a little bit worried after UNC had the huge end to the first half, but Sparty has come fighting back. So, we'll see here. We'll see what we get. RJ Davis with a big bucket to push it to 6. Also, anybody, if you're popping in here, let me know who you pick. Let me know how your bracket's doing. We'll see if anybody has a pretty solid bracket. I know I had a tough first round. Was not my best. Also, anybody joining late, if you do end up enjoying the content, feel free to subscribe. Free way to support us. Help the channel grow. We'll also be going live again tomorrow. So we'll be going live a decent bit of this tournament. And really just kind of hanging out, chatting about ball. Seeing what bets y'all got, what picks y'all got, how the bracket's doing. Is your favorite team making a run? I unfortunately did not have a favorite team in the tournament. I am a Virginia Tech fan. We would have needed to win the ACC tournament to make it in. We in no way, shape, or form were anywhere close in terms of deserving to make it. I was also very glad to see UVA only put up 14 points in the first half when they made the playing game when they probably shouldn't. So, but this UNC Michigan State is living up to the hype right now. I'm a little hesitant to say that because we ended up seeing a great first half in Gonzaga versus Kansas, and then it was a huge blowout. And Gonzaga pushed out the lead pretty early in the second half. They pretty much didn't miss. So, a little hesitant, hoping North Carolina doesn't push the lead out, but I do want to see them win this game. As much as I love Izzo and March, I'm not a huge fan of this particular Michigan State team. So, we shall see. The game I'm most interested in at the moment is actually at halftime. Washington State, Iowa State, because I really think the Cougs can win it. I believe also the Cougs, like their head coach is going to retire at the end of the season because his wife is battling cancer. So it would be awesome for them to make a deep run. But this is gonna have to be a big second half from Baycott and RJ Davis. In March Madness, you can definitely have some role players step up, but you gotta have your star guys be your star guys. Oh, what a steal! Was that Tyson Walker? Yes, it was, and the bucket. So big time play from Tyson Walker there. Cut it back to 5. UNC kind of needs to create a little space here, man, because I do worry about them if it's a close game late against Michigan State. I don't know if I worry as much about the players, but I don't trust Hubert Davis coaching against Izzo. That's kind of where I'm scared. Is that? Oh, okay, that was Booker. I was gonna say there's no way that was Sissoko stepping out for 3. Little RJ Davis Baycott screen. Oh, good swing. Man. Fast break from Michigan State. What a block. Did not accept UNC to get the block on the fast break. Man. Trimble, what a play, man. Just straight up denied that guy. Man. So we're at halftime, one game. Oakland hadn't quite tipped off yet. And then you've got a media timeout in Michigan State UNC. So we're at a lull, but we're starting to get every game popping back up again. And when that happens, we'll be able to flip from game to game and not really have to go to commercial here. Would also be really nice if I actually own the rights to just show these games on stream. But I'm sure that would that would get the channel taken down real quick, even though we're not even monetized yet. So, but once again, whether you pop in live or watching afterwards, appreciate every view we get, man. It's just me right now, but 2 people running the channel. Really just 2 guys who love sports. Trying to see what happens if we get on here and, chat about sports and see if we can gain any traction and just find some more people who enjoy watching, talking sports, kind of enjoy as many different sports as we do. I'm a big soccer guy, college basketball, baseball, and NFL and college football. Surprisingly, I didn't list hockey, but I bet a lot of hockey. Hockey seems to make sense to me betting-wise. And then my buddy, who co-hosted with me, partner of the channel, whatever, one of the boys. He's a huge NFL guy, big college football guy. So, he's kind of our football guy, but of all sports. Ooh, we both do get into some golf as well. Maybe a little bit more playing than watching, even though I'm guaranteed to see all 4 days of every major. I will say, though, unfortunately, it's always pain because I'm a big Rory guy, so I really wish he had more majors in his career. There have been a lot of times, man, where it feels like he's been good enough to win it and just hasn't. Either the guy in front just didn't drop the shots down the stretch that you see a lot of the times, but that's for another time. I mean, we do have the Masters next month. You might see a preview from the Masters from us. We're going to try to get out some Major League Baseball previews for y'all. Probably be a little short and sweet on that. It's going to be tough to be super creative because, in the NL, the Braves and the Dodgers are stacked. You expect the Phillies to be there. I mean, the Diamondbacks just made the World Series, but I don't know if they're going to take the next step. And then the most interesting division is at NL Central. Hoping to see the Reds take another step, but I don't know if I trust it. The AL, unfortunately, my team looks like they're going to finish the bottom of the division. Big Red Sox guy. If you didn't notice, Big Poppy jersey. A lot of the reason I'm big Red Sox guy, favorite player growing up, was Nomar Garciaparra. Now we're back from break. Michigan State with the ball down 6. Oakland, NC State started. NC State started out hot. They're up 7-2. And then we're still at half at Washington State, Iowa State. But UNC they've held off Sparty. Sparty's done a great job of getting back into it. But UNC definitely could have given up the lead, and they've battled to make sure they don't. Man, I really don't want to see Oakland get blown out. But I know it's like the last 5 times we've seen an 11 versus 14 matchup in the round of 32. The 11's won by like 10 plus points. So it doesn't look great for Oakland, but I'm hoping the NC State playing this many games in a row, like in a short time span, since they had to play 5 games in 5 days during the ACC tournament. I'm hoping that kind of catches up to them today, because I would rather see Oakland move on than NC State. But hoping to see Michigan State keep this close, but I do want to see the Tar Heels move on. And then the other game, I want to see Washington State, want to see the Cougs move on that one. So, but we'll see what happens. March Madness, anything can happen. That's why we love it. If these were best of 5s, best of 7, you wouldn't see all the upsets you see. But with it being every single game you could get knocked out, you get the chaos, you get the upsets, you get the pressure-packed endings, because it's like, all right, well, if they don't clutch up here, their tournament's over. It's not like, hey, lose game 1, win game 2, and you're back in a great spot. The other game I'm intrigued to see tonight is Duquesne versus Illinois. I still just can't trust this Illinois defense. They can really score the rock, but I thought BYU was gonna get through, and they did not. Duquesne with the 2 guards with Day and Clark were just way too much for BYU. The other weird part about me believing in BYU is they shoot more than half of their shots are from 3. And I absolutely faded the other 2 teams who seem to just get by with offense and shooting in Kentucky and Alabama. We still got a 4-point game here. Michigan State almost has double the turnovers as UNC, and that's kind of the difference right now. But Michigan State's got the guys that if they stay close, they could pull this thing out. I'll be honest, I'm also secretly rooting for an Elite 8 where we get to see UNC versus Arizona, so we can see Caleb Love against UNC, and that Caleb Love versus RJ Davis. the backcourt that got them to the national title game, and they honestly should have beat Kansas. And then they definitely choked it. And then get to see them face off for a spot to go back to the Final Four would be very intriguing. I will say, because they made that run 2 years ago, and because COVID kind of throws off timing, it feels like Armando Bacot's been in college for forever. I'm definitely on the line of thinking that it seems like he's been there for like 5-6 years. I know that's, yeah, or sorry, maybe like 6-7 years. I'm not of the mindset. I've seen people say that he's like Perry Ellis. Perry Ellis looked like he was 40, so it felt like he'd been in college for like 10 years. That was wild when he was at Kansas. Because you're like, man, there is no chance that this guy is eligible to play in college. Like, this is a grown man. Oh, good kick from UNC, but they didn't make the open three. But a great offensive board. Pushed it to 7. We got about 8 minutes left in the game here. If you're wondering, Oakland, NC State is up 10-7 about 6 minutes into that game. So thankfully, didn't pull away. Was looking like they might start hot enough to pull away, and we want Oakland to stay close in that one. So, looks like we're going to have a great game here. I mean, this has pretty much stayed around 5, like gone down to 4, gone up to 7 or 8. Great pass from Bacot. Absolutely excellent look there to find the open man and get it back to 7. If Michigan State loses, do we say it's because A.J. Hoggard actually put his shorts on correctly this time? My man went out to the opening game of the tournament and had his shorts on backwards. I was like, dude, like, what are you doing, you know? But then again, like, it might have just, those nerves are crazy. The anxiety's crazy. Because you want to just be able to get out there and play. Alright, so what are we... Did we get TBS for Oakland? We did. Okay, so the Oakland game's on TBS. I saw today the white boy for Oakland that FanDuel put out a prop for plus 750 for him to make a 2. I think it was like he only has made 4 on the season. He just only shoots threes. It's one of the most awesome shot charts you'll ever see. I absolutely love it. So I was tempted to maybe throw some money on that because that would be a fun one. That's not one that you take to make money. That's something that if you have a little like fun stash to bet, you go ahead and do. All right, so Iowa State, Washington State's back on. Iowa State towards the first bucket of the second half. Going to be an important 5 minutes for Wazoo just to stay in touch. If you haven't watched much of the tourney, that first 5 minutes of the second half, when it's a close first half, can be a blitz from the favorites. Like, there are definitely times where the favorites just come out and blitz the underdogs. We're hoping that doesn't happen. Not only because I want Wazoo to win, but I did bet on Wazoo as well. So, definitely hoping that doesn't happen. Alright. Well, I mean, at least Oakland's keeping in touch here. 14-9, NC State, 8 minutes in. We'll probably about to flip back to the Michigan State game here. Let's see. Ooh. Oakland had the moves, but they couldn't get the finish. Got to the mid-range there. Oh, gosh. Our three-point shooters was trying to guard DJ Burns there. Man, that's a great swing from NC State. What's kind of crazy is if NC State survives this, like, they get that time to rest back up again. Where this is, like, the hard one to make it through. Kind of like that early timeout from Wazoo in the second half from Iowa State just starting out 4-0. Once again, like, that is a survive period if you're an underdog. Because those favorites come out swinging if you're able to stay close. So it's just so important for you to just figure out, okay, we got to stay in the game. Maybe we can't take our lead back here, but as long as we can stay alive and give ourselves a chance. And to be fair to Wazoo, in the first, they had a halftime lead in the first round and then managed to get down 8 late and then come back and win against Drake, which I was a little bit salty about because Drake was kind of my sleeper. And that, of course, did not work. Oh, Sparty's got to hang on here. North Carolina's pushing it a little bit. Let's see if Carolina... Oh, that's a big-time 3. All of a sudden, it's a 12-point game with 6 minutes left in the game. That's a tough one. But Sparty's just got to try to get it back to 8 or so with 5 minutes to go. And they've got a good chance. Man, NC State is pressuring Oakland. They are, they're saying if the boys want the heat. Oakland's kind of in hang-on mode. And we get the magical time where every game is in timeout. I was talking earlier today about how it's nice once these games get going because you can avoid the commercials. And they still manage to get every game on timeout at the same time. You sometimes wonder if they radio like, hey, we need, such and such to call a timeout. Not getting to the media time. Well, I guess they could just... You wouldn't even need the coaches to call a timeout. You just call the foul and get the media timeout because every 4 minutes there's an under 4 minutes timeout for a media timeout for every 4 minutes. Gotta love SGA and Chet getting a commercial. The Thunder come up has been real. I know there's a little NBA talk while we're talking college basketball, but Sam Presti, man, just gets so many picks. And really, he hits on a decent bit of his draft picks. And the Thunder, they're just the organization that just collect young stars. Because J-Dub's nice too, man. Like, they've got some pieces with SGA, with Chet, with J-Dub, with Dort. I mean, they're not far off right now. And it's kind of obvious because they've been a top 3 seed in the West all year. But man, like I still don't know if any of us expected this to come this quick. And SGA's you just pencil them in for 30. And it's very nice to just have like a guard you can just pencil in for 30 points. Especially if he can keep that up come playoff times when the totals go down a little bit and you might have some games finishing in the 90s, hundreds, and you're penciling in 30. That puts a lot of pressure on the other team to get buckets. Let's see if Michigan State can close the gap a little bit here. They've got the rock down 12, 6 minutes left. You're starting to get into must-score time. Doesn't necessarily have to be a 3 or anything, but you got to start putting pressure back on UNC because every possession you don't score is going to be 20 to 30 seconds that the other team just takes off the clock. So, going to be very important. Oh, Washington State, after calling timeout, gets a bucket, or they get 4 points, and Iowa State gets 2. So, kind of ended that run. It was a 4-0 run to start the half for Iowa State. Next couple minutes are 4-2 Wazoo. So now it's a 2-point lead for Iowa State. Exactly what you needed if you were Wazoo to kind of quell that run. Baycott, single coverage on Baycott. He's going to score that all day. I don't know that Michigan State can single Baycott, man. They're not the best with post defense, so it's like if you're going to single cover Baycott, you're kind of in trouble. Oof, Michigan State's in trouble. It's a 12-point with 5 minutes to go. Let's see here. If Washington State can get a bucket and keep this a 2-point game through that first 5 minutes, that'd be huge for them. Oakland down 7 early. Baycott was trying to work, missed it. Back to Michigan State. You hate to say must score, but this is pretty much a must score for Michigan State. They've got to cut it to at worst 10. If you're going to still be down 12 with 4.5 minutes left and UNC has the rock, I mean, we've seen those comebacks before, but you're asking for a lot. Man, both Oakland and Wazoo gotta hang on right now. We're kind of at that spot where all the underdogs are getting pushed by the favorites, and they've got to find a way to fight back. All right, can Michigan State score here? No. 4.5 minutes left, down 12. You're starting to get to the point where you're going to eventually, when you get to that time of fouling, you're really going to need North Carolina to miss free throws, and you're going to have to extend this game. Got to get a stop here. Got to get a stop to keep the game manageable. I mean, down 12, you'll get the ball back with 4 minutes. Oh, offensive rebound. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. Down 14 with 4 minutes, 15 seconds left. Hey, Oakland making sure that it doesn't go too far. Great offensive rebound by UNC there. Looks like Wazoo, Iowa State just went to the under 16 timeout. Iowa State up 5. So once again, Wazoo, that's going to be very important to make that by 5 minutes just be a 1-possession game. Because Iowa State's starting to flex their muscle a little bit. And we definitely want the Cougs to win, though. But to do that, they've got to stay in striking distance. All right, now we got the under 4 timeout over here in the UNC Michigan State game. UNC up 14. So we're going to peep on over to Oakland. See if Oakland can stay in touch here. And don't you worry, the NCAA's timed it up where there's all 3 commercials on again. Oh, it's incredible. They do such a good job of it. So, waiting for a game to come back here. We're close to fully switching off Michigan State since that's a 14-point deficit. And it's UNC ball right now. So we're close to switching that off. Like I said, what I'm very interested in is I need the Cougs to win. But they're getting pushed by Iowa State to start this second half after going into halftime tied. Which is expected. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some times where you just want the underdog to just ball out and clutch up for you and make it sweat-free. But that's not what March Madness is. March Madness is chaos. Stuff coming down to the wire and who can clutch up. So, we'll see how that goes. We'll keep an eye on this UNC Michigan State game, and if it gets back within 10, but man, Wazoo just needs to hold on right now. Iowa State's actually shooting well. A team that doesn't shoot well at all. Like, you just gotta hold on because Iowa State's defense is crazy. So if they're shooting well, they're tough. Great defense by Wazoo. Can they go get a bucket here? Let's see. Starting to get late in the shot clock for Wazoo, and they haven't really created anything. Nice. Good bucket. All right, they're staying in touch. It's not pretty, but surviving in Iowa State, being able to make some shots, like, period, very important. Nice. They got fouled. Iowa State's super aggressive, so you can get some fouls on them. But it's tough for a really good defensive team to not be because you've got to be aggressive. You've got to be willing to deny drives to be a good defensive team. So it's very tough to be an elite defensive team without fouling. Ooh. Wazoo they were scheming to get one. Late shot clock again. Haven't created a ton. That's a tough shot. That's a tough shot from the Cougs. Wow. All right, we got UNC up 16 with 3.5 minutes to go. I've definitely lost games from that point, but it's not likely. So we probably won't switch back to UNC Michigan State. We will be scoreboard watching once again. If it gets under 10 and seems like there's life, we might switch back. But besides that, we won't. No way. That's a huge shot from Iowa State to go back up 4. Gosh, they're feeling it right now. And Lipsey's a baller. That's an offense that can't score. Does not mean Lipsey's not nice. Man. So quick update of the scoreboard. UNC up 16 with 3 minutes, 25 seconds left. NC State up 3 with about 5 minutes left in the first half. Iowa State up 4 with 13 minutes left in the game. And we hate on some of these defensive teams sometimes because you do have to be elite on both sides of the court. But man, when you're as good on defense as Iowa State is, 4 points feels more like an 8-point deficit. Because it just feels like, it's like, man, are you really going to score back-to-back possessions against this team? I don't know you are. But let's see if Iowa State can keep up the good offense or if they're going to fall off. Goodness, if Iowa State's making contested threes, like, they will win the national title. Gosh. 3 for 3 from 3 for Jones for Iowa State. Good answer from Washington State. I mean, keeping it within 5. Once again, at the end of the day, if teams like Iowa State and Houston can hit their shots, I don't know that they're beatable. Like, it feels like it'd be way too tough. So, UNC's up 16 with 3 minutes left. Oakland's still within 3. 3.5 minutes left till halftime. Oh no, is this guy going to go 4 for 4? No, he finally missed a 3. Alright, Washington State can cut it to 1 possession here. They did just score last possession. It's very hard to score back-to-back possessions against Iowa State unless you somehow manage to get one of them in transition off a turnover. That's a tough shot. I don't know you're making that 3 that often. I appreciate the confidence from the guy, but I just don't know. Iowa State making 3s is crazy. You're going to give a great defensive team a offensive buff. And that's one of their 2 guys who can actually go get a bucket for himself. So seeing the ball go through, man, it's going to be tough for that's going to be tough for Wazoo. I think they really had a shot. It's fading fast. I mean, but good timeout here. You're gonna need to get a bucket, and you're kind of just surviving right now. If Iowa State is making their 3s, like, and making tough shots, even though the last one wasn't a tough shot, but if they're hitting their shots, like, you've got to just survive and wait for the time where they go cold. So, we'll see. Also, if anybody watches this after the fact, or anybody popping in just now as I'm talking, if you would rather see us stream on Twitch, let me know. Right now, we're trying to slowly just kind of figure out how to make decent YouTube content. Quality hadn't been super high, but we're kind of figuring that stuff out because we talk about sports all the time, so we can pop on and you know, we can ball out on sports talk. But we're kind of figuring out the whole content creation side of it. You know, figuring out the technology, figuring out the trends, how to get seen. But if it's something that y'all are interested in, definitely let us know. I'd be more than happy to stream on either site. Really just whatever one is easier, more convenient. Gets a little more conversation going, a little more interaction that that people can find a place that they can talk about sports. Just in a I don't know, like you're talking about sports with the boys. So, but Oakland still within three with 3 minutes left. Oh gosh, that inbound passer set both guys up for failure. UNC up 14 with 2 minutes left. So, UNC game's pretty much done. So, shout out to UNC. I mean, that was a very tough opening. Michigan State got hot. UNC was able to win. Let's see if the Cougars can become our first underdog to win today. That's a big three to cut it back to 5 by the Cougs with 11 minutes left. It's been a very favorite-heavy day. I mean, we had Arizona ended up covering first half spread and full game spread. Gonzaga didn't cover the first half, but then covered the full game pretty easily. This would be UNC covering first half and full game. Iowa State didn't cover first half, but is pulling away from Wazoo right now. Wow, tough bucket from Wazoo. He's also probably right. He probably did get fouled there and didn't get the call. So, let's see, though. Let's see what happens. Five-point game, Wazoo with the rock. Need to get a bucket. That's a tough shot, too. I don't know how many of those shots you're going to make. My man was just pulling no matter what there. He got the rock and went Michael Porter Jr. mode. A little MPJ. All right, late shot clock for Wazoo, and they need a bucket, and their point guard falls. All right, minute and a half left for UNC. They're up 14. That's just about a shout out, good job Tar Heels to making it to the Sweet 16. Oakland down 3 to NC State last minute in the first half, and then the game we're currently on, Washington State down 5 with the ball, 9.5 minutes left against Iowa State. Can they get a bucket to cut it to a one possession game here? Great entry pass. Great post position, great pass, great finish. Really good offense from the Cougs there. Iowa State kind of jacked up a 3 on their last possession. They need to get back to just creating a good look. You don't want to just go for 3 on a terrible look. You want to create it. Got the ball inside, got fouled, going to the line here. Good offense to get back to after they had a rough possession where they just kind of took a 3. Beautiful free throw. There, man, there's sometimes these guys go to the line, they don't look like they're going to score at all, and there are others where it's like, man, does this guy ever miss? Lipsy back in the game for Iowa State. Need their point guard. They got to get 22 going as well, but he had that 3 about 5 possessions ago. We got some full court pressure from Iowa State here. Gosh, they just harass people who have the ball, man. But Washington State down 5, you gotta keep staying in touch, man. it's a tough team to play against, and with this defense and how slow they'd be able to go on offense, you just got to stay alive. Oh man, I'm pretty sure the Iowa State guy went out of bounds, but it was not called. Iowa State with a chance to stretch the lead out. Looks like a little 2-3 matchup zone from the Cougs. We'll see if that gives Iowa State any trouble. Oh, he wasn't going to be able to save that, but it's rough to deflect the ball off the ref and then it gets called out of bounds. Let's see. Man, you think that Iowa State, with not a great offense, would go through stretches without scoring. And they've just been solid. I guess the opening 10 minutes was that stretch. But Cougs down 7. Got fouled. And one would have been really nice there. And that'll be the under 8 media timeout. So we'll flip back, even though it's about to be halftime for Oakland NC State, and see if we can catch the last play before half. Nah, it doesn't look like it. But once again, too, if you're tuning in kind of after the stream and just watching back the little watch party, kind of catching up with the games, let me know who your national champ is. Okay, so we do have 10 seconds left in Oakland, NC State. Can Oakland cut the lead to 1? Well, 1 possession, sorry. Let's see, 16-point lead for UNC as the clock's running out. So congrats to UNC. 3rd team into the Sweet 16. Sweet 16 been pretty favorites heavy so far. You had the 2 seed Arizona clinch up. The 5 seed Gonzaga, even though they were favored in that 5 versus 4 matchup. And now the 1 seed UNC. And the 2 seed Iowa State's, looking like they're going to be able to do it. We will get at least 1 underdog out of Oakland or NC State, because NC State's 11, Oakland's 14. Also, anybody that's coming in afterwards and watching or popping in as I'm talking about it, definitely give me any suggestions for the stream. Very new to streaming, so really will kind of take any advice on that. Let's see. We got everything. We're just kind of waiting for some stuff to come out of timeout here. Because we got Oakland at halftime. UNC just ended. Wazoo, Iowa State is on media timeout. But Iowa State up 7 with 7.5 minutes to go. Even though it doesn't sound crazy, because 3 possessions very doable, especially Wazoo's at the line. A team that good on defense, man, it becomes tough to get these late comebacks. So you wanna get it to a 1 possession game sooner rather than later. Good free throw from Wazoo there. Need to hit this next one to cut it down to 5. Nice. Went 2 for 2 at the line. I'm sure I'm going to jinx somebody, but free throw shootings felt like it's been a lot better today. Little James Harden sell from Iowa State. So, only game going right now. Well, 2 games going right now, but one's at half. So, the only game that you can really watch action in, Iowa State Wazoo. Iowa State up 5. Let's see what Lipsy can create for Iowa State here. Oh, step back 3. Have they missed in the second half? I feel bad for Wazoo, man, because most Iowa State games are not this great. No way. This is wild. They just can't miss. Ooh, tried to work the high-low to get it to the post. Wazoo crumbling. But to be fair, I mean, I don't know what team can do something if Iowa State's making their shots. So, we'll get a little tweet out about UNC making it to the Sweet 16. Gosh, and they finally missed one. They got their own rebound. Wazoo got to stop. But you got to go get a bucket. Down 10. Got to go get a bucket here. Wazoo getting great post-ups, but they just can't get the ball down there. They did get a bucket. I mean, 8 with 5.5 to go. Sorry for the silence, getting a couple tweets out while we don't have anybody here watching. Gosh, they got basically 21 points a game off turnovers for Iowa State. Because they just strap. Ooh, that was a decent double from Wazoo. It just didn't look like they guarded the rest of the space well enough because you've got to force that to go cross court. Oh, you gotta. Can't force them to miss and then not grab the board. Looks like it's over for the Cougs. Just really too many threes going down for Iowa State. I might have to pull up ESPN and see what the difference was from the 3-point line. Because it feels like that they've probably made about 4 more threes. So in an 8-point game, when you got 12-point difference from the 3-point line, gosh, it's only 2 more, but it's on 5 less attempts. So they're shooting twice as good from 3 as Wazoo. I mean, if I was say shooting close to 50% from 3, I said I'm just not sure how you would beat them. So Washington State though turns them over. I mean, down 9, 4.5 minutes left. This is, if you're gonna do this, you need a bucket here. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, but a lot of these upsets, like you get to this point where you've got to start putting pressure on the team in the lead. Like these possessions become so crucial because it's so much harder the later you get. And then they turn it over there. Just tough. Good defense from Iowa State, and Iowa State just made too many threes. Too many threes. Well, we're probably going to go ahead and end this one. Might pop back on later for some of the other games. Once again, if you watch this afterwards, very much appreciated. You have any suggestions or anything, like I said, also, if you happen to find this on YouTube, but you would like to see it on Twitch, just let us know. We're in the beginning. Going to try to just use this whole next year to start growing, start figuring out what content we want to make, and just getting used to the habits of making content. But we're just, I mean, 2 guys talking sports, pretty much watch everything. With that being said, trying to watch everything, we do miss out on some stuff and not as heavy on others. But pretty much here to be able to talk most sports you want to talk if you pop in there. So if you do tune in, whether during the stream, after the stream, appreciate every view, every subscriber, every like matters. And just have a wonderful day, and hopefully your bracket, you're killing your bracket.